Hello and welcome to all of you for attending such an important session. In today's session, we are going to discuss Article 120 of NFPA 70E. This is a very important and critical article on NFPA 70E. Article 120 is the default requirement of NFPA 70E because it provides a condition when any person or electrical engineer or electrical supervisor wants to work on any electrical equipment, conductor or circuit that might be work on electrical motors, switch gears, generators, transformers, variable frequency drives, motor generator sets, any lighting system, any panel. So before going to do any work on any electrical equipment, the basic condition is the equipment should be de-energized, isolated with zero voltage. And it also must be ensured that there is no any unknown, unforeseen energization or re-energization of the equipment. So there are 8 steps or necessary conditions that are executed in a special or proper sequence to verify and establish an electrically safe working condition. What are these conditions of an establishing an electrical safe working conditions? Number 1, identify all the energy sources of electrical system. Number 2, isolate all the energy sources that might get harm or serious injury to the person that are executing the job. Number 3, physical verification that the disconnecting main is properly placed. Number 4, all the electrical stored energy must be released. Number 5, all non-electrical energies shall also be released. Number 6, after achieving all these conditions and all these sequences, the further sequence is to provide a lockout, takeout of the disconnected or isolated equipment through an established and developed procedures. Then the next step, the step number 7 is to verify that there is no voltage before any employee is going to work on it or provide any maintenance or any job. And the last and the important 8th condition is that it should be appropriately grounded, so that if any induced voltage or any stored condition is occurring on that equipment, that might get grounded so that any person could not get shocked or electrocuted, or there is no any unsafe arcing or arc flash hazard will exist. So now we are going to discuss a very important last 2 clauses, number 7 and the number 8. The number 7 is how to test or how to verify an absence of voltage. If we are applied a lockout takeout to any electrical equipment, that is, it might be a switch gear of 480 volt, it might be a switch gear of 3.3 kilovolt, it might be a switch gear of 11 kilovolt volt, it might be a motor of 3.3 kilovolt, it might be a motor of 480 kilowatt or 480 volt. So any equipment, any voltage. So there are certain methods that are described by standards, and NFPA 70 is recommended all those standards and witnessed it. So there are certain standards. Number 1, UL 1436. It provides that any electrical equipment or switch gear shall or can verify an absence of voltage through permanently mounted AVT, means absence of voltage testers. What are the application of this testing method? If any equipment of 11 kV and we are going to de-energize it or we are going to verify it, so there are certain high amount of incident energy. If any fault occur or any uncertain condition occur, then this incident energy is greater than 40 calories per centimeter square. That is more than category 4 arc flash equipment. So this is provide a substitution method as per hierarchy of control, so that an employee getting or taking an absence of voltage test, so it might not get hurt by any arc flash or any arc blast. So it reduces or eliminates the hazard by creating a certain distance from the 11 kV or 3.3 kV switchgear to the person where they are standing, and he can test absence of voltage through a hotline stick. So it reduces the hazard. Accordingly, the second type of automatic absence of voltage tester is a UL 61010 standard, and that is multimeter. There are certain types of multimeter used in the industry that are category 1 multimeter, which is used for domestic purposes, the category 2 multimeter that is used for commercial purposes, the category 3 multimeter that are used for industrial purposes such as testing an absence of voltage in the panels, MCCs less than 480. And the fourth one is a category 4 that is used in panels, MCCs and circuit breakers for testing absence of voltage greater than and above 600 volt. So these are the certain methods. The most recommended method by NFPA 70 is the 2-pole voltage tester, that is as per standard IEC 61243-3. So this is the recommended method by which you can verify an absence of voltage test. How we can do it? We can put these two terminals into the point where we are going to test the voltage, either face to face or either face to ground. So we can test it easily and with safety, and we can verify that the equipment is dead and there is no residual energy or any residual voltage. So next point is we are going to discuss the grounding. As a matter of fact, you know that any electrical equipment can get re-energized. How any equipment can re-energize? Number one, it might get re-energized due to induced voltage. Number two, it might get de-energized due to stored energy. Number three, it might get de-energized due to a proximity effect or capacitance of the cable or the adjacent conductor. So before going to proceed any type of job or any type of maintenance, the grounding should be applied. As we know that in 11 kV and 33.3 kV circuit breakers and switch gears, there is a earth switch. So we can apply earth switch by disconnecting the breaker and taking the breaker, and finally we achieve that if there is any unforeseen fault or unforeseen re-energization will occur, then this voltages can be grounded, and the switchgear and the circuit always remains at the 0 volt, and employee can easily and safely work on that equipment. So as per STM standard F855, it provides that there is another type of grounding that we are used where there is not an earth switch. So this we call is an temporary grounding system. So what are the features of this temporary grounding system? So the features is that it should have a low resistance. The resistance is less than 0.1 ohm, so that any fault or any unforeseen energization of the circuit or any induced voltage can automatically ground it. So how we can apply it, temporary ground? It should always be applied between a source and the person, and it always applied on the load side, that is the secondary part of the circuit from source to load. That load side should be grounded with appropriate conductor, so that it can sustain or it can carry a full load fault current or a short circuit current of that equipment. And the connection of that grounding to the conductor and the grounding should be clamped and should be torqued with tightness, so that it can sustain the mechanical and electrical strength. So you can also use a voltage stick to grounding. You can use a grounding stick to ground any type of MV switchgear, LV switchgear, or any type of electrical equipment, so that then there is no any real energization of the circuit can occur. So this is a very important clause and I can or I have explained you that how we can create an electrically safe working condition, and we are discussing two very important clauses and two very important points. That is how to test an absence of voltage, and that second is how to ground so that employee can work safely and to avoid any shock, arc flash or arc glass incident. Thank you from this session.